Welcome to Season 3 of the Water Prairie Chronicles podcast for special needs parents. I'm your host, Tonya Wollum, and I'm glad you're here. If this is your first time here, leave me a comment so I can welcome you properly. And if you're a regular to the podcast, welcome back. It's hard to believe we're starting Season 3 of the podcast this week. When I started thinking about it over 2 years ago, it was a bit overwhelming. I confess I wasn't a podcast listener at the time, and I had no idea how many people might be interested in hearing what I had to say. My husband, Steve, he was the podcast listener, and he still is today, but he kind of gave me an idea of what it was all about. Before that point, I had only worked with video. I've shared this before, but I have a cooking and household tips channel on YouTube, and that's what I had used as one of my hobbies and just played with, but I really didn't know anything about podcasting. And I've learned a lot over the past 2 seasons, and I try to apply what I learn when I'm making them to try to make the experience better for you. And I know I still have a lot to learn. But now I find myself listening to the podcast, even queuing up YouTube videos to listen to them instead of watching them as videos like I used to do. And I see the value of podcasting from a consumer's point of view. I find that I use it, I don't know about the rest of you, but I use it in situations now where I used to have the radio playing in the background. Like when I'm driving to work, if I'm on a long trip especially, I'll either listen to podcast or I'll queue up video. I like it because I can kind of choose what my playlist is with that. So I'm hoping that you're finding value like that with it. Today, I want to take some time to and this is going to be a short episode, by the way, but I just want to give you an idea of what you can expect in Season 3. I've been thinking about some different things, and I wanted to just kind of set us up before we got started with our first guest. For about a year now, I've been trying to work out a way to bring you more variety in the format of the podcast. Last week, I released a new guest registration form that includes the option to register as part of an expert database that's going to give me the option to pull from a group of experts in different areas of special needs parenting for specific topics that we have questions about. And I'm really excited about this because looking forward, I can see that we could use this panel for short questions that we may have, or maybe topical studies that we want to do. But I'd also like to bring together like a roundtable discussion. So that's going to give me the resources to be able to see who I have to work with and maybe where our collections of expertise may be coming together with larger groups, so that I could maybe have several of you come in together to talk about one topic and give us more than just one point of view. I'll still be bringing individual interviews together. We have a long list of potential guests right now that I'm working with, trying to fill out the lineup for this season. On top of that, though, I really like the idea of giving you more information than just the regular interviews provide. So I'm still working out the details. I'm not sure if these will be part of the weekly lineup or if there'll be additional content that I add to the YouTube channel and possibly to the audio as well. So stay with me. We'll be rolling this out over the next month or so as I collect more names to our list too. So if you have experiences being a parent of a child with a disability, if you have a disability that you'd like to help us understand, if you work as a professional who offers services for special needs families, and if you have a skill that would help special needs parents and you'd be interested in joining the panel, head over to my Linktree page at linktr.ee/Water Prairie Guest and fill out the guest registration form there. I'll contact you for more information once I get your registration form. Also, be sure to pass this on to anyone that you think might be able to help add value to our expert panel. I appreciate your help in gathering this resource together for us, and all of us are going to benefit from this. Even if you're listening as just someone who's interested in hearing more and not a parent of someone with a disability, if you've listened to any of the episodes with the interviews, you know that you're going to find value in this. But the more that we can pull together on this, the more inclusive we're going to be in the way that we think, but also in the environment around us that we're helping to provide for those that we care about who have disabilities. Another part of what I've been thinking about is last year I experimented some with some shorter videos and YouTube shorts that I created out of those longer interviews. Some of them I took segments out of the interview, and some of them I took segments that we never used that I was able to release in a separate format. And the response to this was really good. I plan on doing this more this season. I saw that we had more new followers and subscribers join because of those videos than what we had with the longer interviews. And I think it might help grow the podcast if I can provide shorter information segments in addition to the longer content that I'm already putting online. And I'd love to hear your feedback on this, so don't be shy. Leave me a comment, send an email if you don't want anyone else to see your comment. You can send the email to Tonya@waterprairie.com, and that's Tonya, Tonya, @waterprairie.com. And I would love to hear your input on this. My thought is sometimes a full long episode may be more than what someone can listen to, but latching on to something short might help someone decide whether they want to hear the full interview by hearing segments of it. Again, I'm still learning a lot of this, so I'm open to any input that you may have for me. Last week, I mentioned the Water Prairie Etsy shop, and this week I was able to add a new printable. It's a children's creative writing journal that's called Adventures in Storytelling. And this is just like a sampler. There are other books that I have planned. There's at least 8 of them that'll be coming out in the next month or so. But each of the others will be a specific topic, like either dance or sports or fairy gardens, I think is one of the ones that I have. There's several different ones, trying to think of interest areas that kids may have. And a lot of our kids have special interests, so I was trying to find one that would cater toward different types. As more topics come to mind, if these do well, more will come out. But this first book is more of a collection of samples from the first 8 topics that I had. And it's available on the Etsy shop as a download that you can print from home. You can also purchase it on Amazon as a paperback 8.5 by 11 activity book. It's the same book whether you get on Amazon or print it at home. So it's just the cost is more if you get the paperback, of course, because you're not printing it at home. But I wanted to offer it in both formats just to kind of see which was more of interest to other people. It's my first creative writing journal. It's something I've been wanting to work on for a while because I know with my own kids, writing was not always an easy thing for them. My son especially has a writing disability. There were times when just getting him to write anything was almost painful to watch just because it was so much work. But I didn't want him to lose joy of writing, so we found some ways to kind of modify things here. And I thought, well, maybe if we could put together something that would be interesting for a child but had a reward system built in. So with this first one, what I've done is there's 16 stories that they'll be writing. It's a story starter, so you kind of get hooked into the story with the first sentence or two, and then it leaves you hanging. So your job as the writer now is to finish the story. So it's kind of set it up for you. You've got your topic going, and then every second story, I have a game or an activity there. Some of them are about how to develop your writing better, and some of them are just dot-to-dot pictures or a coloring page. There's a crossword, there's a word search. There's just different types of activities that are not just a writing activity, so that it's more of a creative writing journal and activity book put together. And the future ones that come out that are theme-based, I'm still working on the final details, but I think I'm going to be able to put an activity after each story so that they can kind of get a little reward for writing and then have a playtime and then write the next one and go through. So my thought is homeschool parents might be able to use something like this. Tutors and even teachers could use this because if they get the printable one, they could just print the pages that they wanted. Parents that are looking for extra support for their child might be able to enjoy something like this. If you want to see what it is, you don't have to buy it. If you just want to see what it is, if you go to waterprairie.etsy.com, you'll see the Water Prairie Etsy shop there. And if you're subscribing to the newsletter, you'll be able to see the promo code that comes out. That's coming out next week. So watch for the promo code there. Just kind of look at it, see what you find there, but give me some feedback. I'd like to see kind of what you think on that before I print the next ones and post those on the shop. And we do, if you missed it last week, then we've already put up the first story kit there, and there'll be some more of those coming out. It's going to take me a little bit longer to get those together because I'm trying to do some handmade parts on those. But the first story kit is out with the Goodnight Moon story. And if you want to see the Amazon shop, if you search Adventures in Storytelling, it should come up. You're looking for my name, Tonya Wollum. If you search my name, you'll find it as well. But that all of the books will eventually be on that shelf as well. So let's see, what else did I want to tell you about? I mentioned the newsletter. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, now last week I went into the newsletter a lot, so I hope you were listening. We did have some people signing up for the newsletter, and thank you. Welcome to Water Prairie, those who signed up. But if you haven't signed up yet, if you go to waterprairie.com/newsletter, you can sign up for the newsletter there. Right now, it's coming out about once a month, sometimes a little bit longer. I don't promise that I'll keep with that schedule. There might be times when I send out something, if there's a special event or something going on. But for each monthly newsletter, you want to look for the Etsy promo code because I'm going to start putting one in for 15% off for for our listeners so that you can get a little bit more. I may run some 10% off sales in the Etsy shop, but I want you to be able to get a little bit more savings on that. I'm kind of playing around with that right now. So look for that if you are going to buy something, just so you're not paying full price. I want to make sure you're getting whatever discount I can give to you and still not lose money on it. And last news I wanted to give you was next week I have my first guest of the season. Kathy Bowers is going to join me, and we're going to be talking about the art of communication with our children and sharing some invaluable tips on fostering stronger connections with your kids. So you're not going to want to miss this. Behind her, we have a whole long list of people that are coming on. I'm excited about what you're going to be able to learn this year through the different guests that are coming on. Thanks for joining me today. I'm looking forward to season 3. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Have a great week, and I will see you next week.